Best greetings, my friends. Best greetings from Kiev, the capital of Ukraine. My name is Viktor Fursov. I am a research entomologist of Institute of Zoology of National Academy of Sciences of Ukraine in Kiev, the capital of Ukraine. And today this video is a stream, so direct translation from my apartment. And actually, as many people were just locked down in our houses and our apartments, and we're just separated from the wildlife. Nevertheless, my channel is devoted to the nature, wildlife, and entomology, or study of insects. And definitely, so you recognize this book, which is just with a title written by Jan Gold and Larry Bolton, the Hymenoptera. This is a book about Hymenoptera. And this story is devoted to the discovery of new species of science just in a close distance to your house, actually. Why? Because we're in lockdown, so we're sitting somewhere, and it's difficult to go far away in the natural environment. But nevertheless, we have some opportunities to pay more attention just to our garden. And actually, because this video I'm recording in English, so this video is more for English-speaking audience, for Americans, for Australians, for New Zealand, for Kyiv, for people who just recognize English language, and of course, who is just devoted to the nature, because my video is devoted to the Hymenoptera, parasitoids, and Hymenopterous insects. So I will be talking about how to collect Hymenoptera in a backyard, just near your house, in your garden. As I said, for English-speaking community, for Americans, for British, Kyiv, and all in other countries. But the people have usually private house, not apartment, but private house. And it's a really great advantage, because in a private apartment, you cannot collect anything, just only apartments insects, so which are just domestic insects living in your house. But if you have a private garden, if you have a private house, you have just a piece of land where you can collect some insects, even with a sweeping net. So you have a great advantage, because you may have a kind of flowers, grass, some trees around. When I visited Mexico, there were a few trees in the backyard of our private house. And this was citrus, actually oranges. So it was easy to collect under the oranges in this very small garden. But usually British and American people, they have it just their garden. Maybe with a short, very cut. Just forward you have a very short grass, but maybe in the backyard your grass can be a little bit higher, bigger, just with some flowers. And place or space of your garden and your just flowers may be much larger. It depends from where do you live, in a village or just very close to the city. So, and how to collect insects, not just to the net. For that you need to establish some traps. Well, why I said near the garden? Because even in a garden, if you can establish some kind of traps, you may collect some very interesting insects. And by these insects can be, just a ladger like that, or like that termite or this ant in some tropical countries. In some tropical countries where advantages, just everything is visible. If you are just in a tropical country like in Peru, just maybe Indonesia, Thailand, or Malaysia, so all the tropical insects, huge really. So just they're jumping, they're just annoying you, they're just making a noise, sounds. So to collect big insects, it's easier, definitely in the backyard. But the most important in entomology, not to collect insects, but to study them and to describe unknown for science species. Right, unknown for science species. And these unknown for science species of insects, they are usually very small. They're very small, they're smallest, they're really minute, a very, very delicate size. So if this ant is a huge sitting on your hand, well, by the way, some minute insects were flying everywhere around, were flying like a small daphne, were flying like a small air dust around. And these tiny insects were really invisible. We say invisible because they're flying like a plankton in the water, like a cyclops or just a daphne in air. They are invisible. So for that, at least today, I will introduce one very simple trap, which I've been showing several times on my channel, but in Russian language. So today this story will be repeated in English language for some entomologists, some hymenopterists who are familiar with different traps. There is nothing use, because there are two most important traps. One trap is a malice trap. This is huge like a tent, and all the insects are collected in alcohol inside this tent, on the top of a tent. And the second trap is to establish yellow pen traps, and all tiny small air daphne will be flying around and fall down inside these traps in yellow pen traps. Well, so they are like this yellow book of this Hymenoptera, so remember yellow pen traps. And of course, in this trap we can collect some different tiny insects. Tiny insects which are most interesting for me. These are Hymenoptera insects. And it's quite interesting that different insects can be collected in yellow pen traps. Not only Hymenoptera like here, these different tiny parasitic wasps. So this atlas of European and entomophagous insects was published in Ukraine several years ago, and it's actually handwritten and drawn. All these drawers, all these pictures were handmade by different our Ukrainian scientists and assistants and artists, by the way. I assisted as well because I made just white and black picture of many of these creatures, and just our artist just painted many of these like this. I do not describe now at the present time the families of all these different insects. Here I show you some Hymenoptera insects. So all these small insects were pretty small, from 10 millimeters up to 0.5 millimeters size. So to use a sweeping net or butterfly net, as we say, that's possible to collect them, and they're collected by this normal butterfly net everywhere around, all around the world. People use it for collecting, but after that you need to use very special sucker, this exhauster, just to extract all these insects out of this net. So you need to have a sharp eye, no glasses probably, and to be very careful, because insects were just jumping out of the butterfly net, and they're very fast, especially if they're just larger than 5 millimeters. They go out very quickly in a few seconds. In half a second we will be out, so must be very careful. But what about the smallest insects, which are difficult for collecting? Nevertheless, it's easy to collect them, as I said, with the yellow pen traps. Why it's pen traps? Because these are very simple plates. By the way, these are very simple plates. Yes, these plates are very simple, and they are used for collecting small Hymenopterous insects all around the world. People use it for ages, for years, and with a good results. The advantage of these nice plates, they can be disposed and they can be established in many places in a large area. What should you do? for collecting insects, like I showed you on these pictures, on these drawers. All these insects were tiny, up to 10 millimeters and 0.5 millimeters. So you need to put these tiny plates on ground. On ground, even you can put it, just attach it to the tree, or put it just on the stone, or put it on the high stone, or put it near the edge of stones, or put it near the water stream, on a stone near the water stream. But how insects will jump to these plates? Well, we consider that these plates looks like, you know, like a flower. From our human point of view, we definitely, probably would say so. We cannot say what's most attractive for insects. Yeah, definitely the light, the color, and color is attracted like a flower. So what should you do for collecting? First of all, when you are going in a wild, you need to keep with you, okay, maybe 10, maybe 20. Usually I got 20 of the same plates. Well, all plates can be different. The deeper plate is better, because you need to fill this place with the water, and by the way, with a salted water. So the place, you see, this one is a more light color, lemon. So this is deep yellow, this is bright yellow. So the size is nearer the close, but this one is a little bit deeper, and this one is for just for food. I bought it just in a supermarket. So I bought the same even in Mexico. This one I brought from Mexico, as I do remember. But this is plastic stronger. This is easier to break it. So this is slightly very important. Sometimes these plates, okay, these plates maybe 20 centimeters, so you in a diameter, and this one just less than 15 diameter. But these are deeper, so this is advantage. So, and this is very strong. You do not break it even if you push your feet on this plate. So you need to fill these plates with the salted water. With the salted water with detergent, with some liquid which you use for cleaning your dishes. But better to use shampoo, because some lemon scent, lemon smell is distracting for insects. So that's why to use maybe the shampoo without any smell, because smell of shampoo or this detergent can be distracted insect. It's distracting for insects, not very attracting, but distracting. So insects will come here, smell something, and go out. But usually they fly. And these places were collecting flying insects, which were flying like a plankton, and just they sit down here on the surface of water, and how you feel it? So, okay, and they fall down. So they are drawn. They becoming drawn, and they die. Sorry about that. So this is, and how do you put them in how you can put them in your backyard? Very easy. For that you need to go to your backyard with a garden. The presence of grass is usually important, but even you can put it just on the place, just with the ground, without any grass. With a little bit grass, because insects were still flying everywhere around. If you put it near the big grass, sometimes in a wild, this is quite useful, because if you put it near the tree, near the tree, insects they can hatch out from the host and emerge from the host in a tree, and just near the tree will be your trap. So, or several traps. So insects from a tree will fall down immediately from the tree inside your trap. If it will be just the bunch of small flowers, or insects can be who are living inside these small plants, they hatched out and they fell down again. If this is flowers with flowers, by the way, grass with flowers, insects are coming to flowers, and after flowers they fell down again in water, in salted water with shampoo, with detergent. Why? Because detergent will decrease the tension of water in this plate. So insects coming here and fell down. If there will be no detergent, no shampoo, insects can touch the surface of water and fly away, touch and fly away. Very easy. And it's quite interesting. And this is from my experience, my personal view. I've seen like insects being attracted to this plate. This was a really windy day, so all grasses were moving like that very fast. So I was expecting with my sweeping net, it was no choice for collecting, because my butterfly net was moving like that. This was moving like that. All the insects just flying somewhere around and maybe fell down. Yes, but when I just come to this plate, usually this plate, if there is a wind, you need to put maybe a stone inside the plate to make it heavy, because otherwise the plate will be just also distracted and fell down with the water. So, but with the stone inside, it's more stable. So, and I've seen small insects that were crawling around the edge of this plate. They were very small thrips. They were coming here and they were moving with their wings. So they flew here directly. To this plate, because especially this bright yellow color is very attractive for thrips, very tiny sucking insects, and of course, as I said, for Hymenoptera, for parasitic insects. And among these parasitic insects, it's possible to find new species. That's why even if you put these plates in your backyard, in your garden, somewhere in Texas, in Arizona, in Alaska, and definitely somewhere in Indonesia, Malaysia, Morocco, Algeria, Egypt. I put it in Egypt, in Sharm el-Sheikh as well, but it was difficult because I was just in a campus for holidays. But in a wild, or just in a backyard with a green grass, as I said, where the green grass will be important, with flowers, insects will be flying here and fell down. Falling down, very important. How you can put this? As you can take water like this in a bottle. I will be trying to be careful near my computer, because last time I recorded on some distance, here very close to my computer. So yes, you fill the plate with water. In your camp or in a kitchen, you fill this bottle with water with salt. Salt is very important. Why? And I tested with my experience, salt is important to prevent insects from rotating, from swarming. So insects will be fixed in salted water. So you mix this water in your kitchen at home, and then go to the backyard or courtyard of your garden with a green grass or with a little bit green grass, so to check the situation in your country. Because really in your country, even now in the 21st century, you can be Gomud, you can be Levenduk, you can be discoverer of new species of insects for science. I can collaborate with you if you can find something. This is my most important message. If you're just listening to me, if you're watching me, if you see here the water. Insects flying here, fall down, and can be drawn inside this water. And after that, you put in your garden, you still have 20 your plates. You can put your plates very close near each other, okay, in a visible distance like that, if you have limited space. If you have a lot of space around your house, you can put 1 meter and next meter, 1 meter between them, these plates, and fill them with the water, with shampoo and with salt. Well, and be careful. And what's going on later? After certain period of time, what is about? You must collect all your insects. Salt will prevent rotating of your insects, but still water is evaporating during the spring, summer, and even autumn time. Sometimes rain can be helpful to fill it with water, but it's already this situation, because with water all small dust and plants can fall down inside your plate, so will be just a lot of dust. But for collecting, you need to use again this tiny aquarium net. You get this tiny aquarium net for babies, for fish babies, so the smallest. So this special tissue, this is a very special tissue. This mesh is very tiny, so no baby fish will go through, and so no tiny insects will go through. So, and after that you come to your plate, put it like that, one plate on another plate, and fill it with water with your insects. So insects must be collected in this aquarium's net. Well, so, and then you go to another place, fill it again in your net, go to the next one, fill it again, go to the next, fill it again. So, and also you are going to collect all insects for all your plates just in one tiny aquarium net. Well, so sometimes, this size, from my experience, can be half. Really, you can be surprised. Half of this net will be full of insects in a good place, definitely in a good place. Sometimes not everyone, not all insects are useful for you, but can be interesting and very valuable for another specialist, for another entomologist, because it's up to the country where are you living. If you are living in a civilized country, don't forget about it. Not all insects have been studied. Many species are still unknown. I must put this water a little bit outside for security, because I am afraid about my computer, because here water. So fill it, your net, with the water, with salted water, and all insects will be inside your aquarium net. Sorry, wait a second, right. Well, you collected your insects, you are happy. Really, usually I put it inside a plastic jar or just a glass jar like that, and put it inside again plastic, and coming with this wet material just to the laboratory, or just to my house, to the kitchen where I'm working. And after that, you need to wash all these insects. You are washing these insects under the water, just in your bathroom and in your kitchen. So you clean all this. You need to clean all these insects from the detergent, because detergent can cover all the body with its small, tiny pieces. And if you put it for fixation in alcohol, all your insects will be in a milky white surface. So this terrific, unnecessary, and it's bad, because after that you will not be able to clean it. So you need to clean your insects 2-5 minutes up to your presence of your water in the stream of water. So you're cleaning your insects, and after that you fix them in some jars with alcohol. So this jar, of course, with the big larvae, but this is easy to use, this baby food jars for fixation of your insects material. So baby food jars, they have a very tight cover here, So you need to close it so to prevent evaporation of alcohol. I usually use 70 or 96% alcohol, because with alcohol and with insects and a little bit water, alcohol percentage will be decreased, less than 70%, less than 97% alcohol. So even some insects, you need to fill more and more alcohol in the same jar. But here will be insects. How it looks like? It looks like that. So you may keep small different plastic jars with all your insects inside. Yes, like that. So you see, from the time, of course, all insects are just they're slightly diluting inside, their content in diluting. So sometimes the color can be changed to the brown or a little bit yellowish. But here, these jars were full of alcohol and small tiny insects for the study. Yes, tiny insects here. But they are collected from another trap. But this is the way how to collect them. And after, as I said, after cleaning the water, you put all insects inside these plastic jars with 70 or 96% alcohol to make it like a 70%. From a 96, with the insects will be about 70. 70% is the better, because in 96 insects are usually more fragile. So don't put too much 86% alcohol. Make it like between 70 up to 80% alcohol. So they will be more soft. They will be softer. So, and they move here. And don't worry that insects can be destroyed during this transferation, because, you know, if I collected half of this net, quite a lot of insects. So they're sitting here inside, laying inside here, quite a lot of them. When you move them, you worry too much, so that will be destroyed. Some of them can be slightly destroyed, but still they're very flexible. The insects were very flexible. That's why if you collected them here, just take it out and put it inside this jar. Insects are very flexible. Then you use pipette, clean with a pipette here the surface of your net, so it will be clean. And alcohol is very useful, very easy to use for cleaning. And after that, you can keep your insects in this plastic and put it to your refrigerator in a dark place, in a dark place, just to prevent discoloration of insects. Because if you keep it in a hot place over 25, like summertime, and under the air, under the sunshine, on your balcony somewhere, on your shelves of books, insects will be discolorated here, will lose the color. Color can be useful, because still we need to make some study of morphological study of these insects. And if you collected many insects, so you cannot study all of them yourself. So that's why you see here I have a box of my friend who just sent me this jar, like here already. This jar, unfortunately, with no alcohol, insects destroyed. So this is so put here some gum plastic here inside to close it very well, because insects will be dried and destroyed for the study. But nevertheless, if you want to collaborate in the study of these insects, if you want to find new species for science, put all your insects like that in a package like that, and you can send it to me. Yes, you can send it to me, Institute of Zoology of National Academy of Sciences in Kiev, Ukraine, and I am promising you to start to study them and to describe new species which can be here for the science. And especially if you collect them somewhere in a tropical country, or even in your civilized and well-developed country in North America, in South America, in Australia, or in Europe, definitely many new species are still undescribed. send me a message on this email. We can collaborate, and I will describe new species for science devoted to you or your friends or your relatives. And looking forward to see you soon on email, your messages, and of course I will be very pleased to collaborate with you in the study of the content of this very funny, very interesting, but very useful yellow pen traps, where you can collect a lot of not big insects, but a lot of small insects. If big insects are falling down here inside these traps, you can take them off. You can take them off with a forceps, because if you some big insects will come in here, sometimes some tiny mouses can come down and die. Some mollusks, snails,